my side, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because one of my biggest fears in life is speaking out to people, and I was always scared of public speaking. I wasn't a big handshaker. I was kind of a just kind of blend in kind of person with everything, and then I became a mom, and I became a little bit more engaged in what's going on, and then I became more involved with local grassroots things, and that really brought me out of my shell.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so grateful that I have such a great group of people around me that they knew I had a good voice, and they knew I had a lot of courage, but I just had to get to that next step. And I know there's a lot of people out there like me, and you just gotta jump in. There's no getting your toes wet here. There's no testing the water. You just gotta jump in and swim with the shark.
Right. Another question is for you too. With the VA scandal, how is that affecting Michigan? By the way, the VA. Do you know anything about that?
I do, and I haven't seen a lot of myself here within Michigan. I did knock on a gentleman's door last week, and his daughter is now living with him, and he does have cancer, and it is progressing. And he is unfortunately probably he's not going to be around much longer. And he did have trouble getting into the VA. And I remember growing up, the VA wasn't the greatest either. My grandfather was in World War II, and he lost his leg in France. And for 60 years, he had a prosthetic leg, and it never fit right ever. He would go to the VA, and they would try to mess with it, whatever. It was the old style. It didn't have the movable ankle even. It was the old style with the straps is what he had worn. And I remember as he had cancer and he lost a bunch of weight, and so his leg was amputated right below the knee. So he had his knee, and then right below that, just from aging and losing weight and stuff, the muscle, kind of deteriorated around the area where it would fit into the prosthetic. And they had one man that was his job to fit them, and he had cut his hand or something and had stitches. The VA guy, and my grandpa could never get in again to get his leg repaired.
Wow.
So he ended up going into a wheelchair, and they were supposed to come in and make his house wheelchair accessible. My grandfather built his house with his prosthetic leg. Mm-hmm. He built his own home with his own hands and put his sweat and everything into this home. And of course, he didn't make the doors wide enough, and he had a heck of a time getting around his house. Heck of a time. The VA would call him back, and this is back in 2000, because he passed away in 2001.
Wow.
So, I've seen it within my own family, but not so much recently, but, definitely hearing the reports of what's going on in the nation. I don't think firing is good enough. I think the people that, shunned our veterans and didn't care for our veterans and didn't help them get proper medical care should be in prison.
Yeah.
Should be in prison. You do not ever turn your back on a veteran at all. And I'm so angry about just this illegal immigrant situation in our nation, because we have veterans living on the streets, but yet we're willing to put illegals up, and we call them refugees.
Yeah.
And we feed them, we house them, we give them better health care. We're giving them more than we give our own veterans.
Right, we're giving them free Obama phones, free Obamacare, and now a free gas card. How about that, Angela? That's pretty. What next? A free house and a free car. I mean, this is where does this free stop and spending? Where can we stop this free gift spending? We gotta put a stop.
Stop calling it free. It's taxpayer funded.
Right.
Taxpayer funded.
Yeah, we gotta stop this. We gotta stop this. We gotta stop this dead in its tracks. We gotta stop it. We really do. Yeah, go ahead.
Can you imagine what we could do if we didn't do all of that? And we wouldn't have veterans on the streets.
Yeah.
It would be amazing. It would be absolutely amazing what we could do if we weren't funding these horrible programs, failing programs, to do nothing more than trap more people into the system.
Well, like Solyndra, great example. Solyndra, we put this money, we put our $1 billion into this company, and guess what? they lost everything, and now it's taxpayers funding. And there's another one that's actually doing solar panels for vehicles. That went busted too as well. That went bust. So
Right.
and GE is another example too as well, where you give that money to, and guess where it went to? It went on to the commercials. It went to not to, it went into their to these administrations fees, and and the CEOs. That's all it went to. So they got exotic cars, driving Ferraris, Lamborghinis. They got $3+ million
Right.
house. Kids are in private school, private airplanes. Where you see, it's all. This is what you call stimulus. Is this what building the rich richer and making and having no more middle class anymore? Because that's what's going on here. This is what the news media is so scared of talking about. They don't even want to address this issue. This is reality. Go ahead, Angela.
Well, yeah, it's corporate welfare is what it is.
Right.
And if we didn't engage in practices like corporate welfare, we could cut taxes for the whole nation.
Right.
This is, the amount of money you've invested in failing companies. And first of all, I don't think it's right to pick winners or losers as the government. That's not right at all. That's not right. There's many, many businesses out there that could have prospered with that sort of cash. And instead, we invest because we want to push this green energy business because no one wants to drill for oil.
Right.
I'm sick of being in bed with the Middle East for our oil.
Right. Right.
We're funding terrorism with this. I mean, we need to be more sustainable ourselves.
Right. Great point. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just angry. I'm going to be really on fire today when I go after the rest of the doors, let me tell you what.
I bet. Well, I bet. So